Hey everyone, welcome to today's webinar. Firstly, where is everyone from? I can see in the chat that a lot of you have already started. So we've got Netherlands, Spain, Lithuania, Stockholm. Oh my goodness, across the world. Welcome everyone. So my name is Simone. I actually am here in London in the UK. So great to see everyone join. Just to get the conversation started, I want to know what you were influenced to buy from an influencer. So recently I have purchased that Wonder Skin. I don't know if you guys have seen it, the tinted lip balm or lip stain. It's absolutely incredible. Makes your lips look great. So yeah, let me know what you've been influenced to buy. Something a bit fun to get us started. And then let's talk about the latest hot influencer collab. So my favorite recently has most definitely been Heinz and Molly May. I don't know if you guys saw that collaboration. It was absolutely incredible. So Heinz basically sent baked beans to Molly May and she shared them with her 8.5 million subscribers on Instagram. And I love the story behind it because it was a reactive influencer marketing moment. So Molly's daughter Bambi had a bit of a viral moment where she said she was going to bite her nursery friends Dory and Emily, and just to insert themselves in the conversation, Heinz sent her baked beans with their names on it, and I just thought that was really funny, and it just went viral. So let me know, guys, what your favorite influencer collab this month has been. Okay, let's get things started. So welcome to today's webinar. So we're going to hear top 4 changes from BURGA's influencer program, which spans 17 countries and takes 26 people to run. Now, today's guest speaker is Director of Global Partnerships, Rugile, who will be sharing her insights on how to find creators with genuine influence, find sustainable ways of growing your brand of creators, and a lot more. Now, whilst we wait for more to join, let's just do a quick poll. So, poll number 1. Have you ever had a creator look good on paper, but not drive sales? So maybe quite a few times, perhaps it's happened once or twice. Maybe you're super lucky and it's never happened to you, or this might not be applicable to you. So whilst you guys go ahead with an answer, I'm going to do a little introduction on myself. So hello, my name is Simone and I am a content producer and influencer marketing expert here at Modash. Now, from 2012 to 2022, I actually worked as a professional influencer, working with brands like Glossybox, McDonald's, The Body Shop, racking up over 41 million views on YouTube alone. And I have also worked as head of influencer at a busy UK agency, working with many creators on a monthly basis. So I am particularly looking forward to this webinar today. So let's just reveal the results from poll number 1. Okay, a lot of you, it's happened a few times, so I'm really excited to hear more about that. And I'm just checking the comments. Again, a lot of people from across the world. We've got South California, hello. Berlin, Denmark. Okay, love that. So by the end of this roundtable, you have learned on how to stop customers' dependency on discount codes, use brand awareness to reach new audiences beyond standard best performing categories, and how to identify true influence and authenticity. And the agenda of this webinar will be super simple today. First, we'll hear the top 4 changes BURGA has made in their influencer program this year. Then we'll hold a discussion and Q&A session. So please ask your questions using the chat bar to the right. Rugile, with such a big influencer program, there must be a lot of learnings across teams. So I will pass it over to you.
Thank you, Simone. Thanks for such a warm welcome. I'm glad to be here today, and let's dive in. So I am Rugile, or Ru for short, and I am the Director of Global Partnerships at BURGA, and as Simone already mentioned, I've been with BURGA for 2.5 years, and here I lead our affiliate PR and influencer marketing efforts. During my time at BURGA, one of my goals was to build our influencer marketing teams. So it's the total of 26 people at the moment. And together with these incredible humans, I know some of them are here today, we were able to scale our creator program from 300 content units going live each month to 2,000 or more. So what will we learn today? So we'll talk about how to strike a good balance between conversion-driven content strategy and your brand awareness. Then how can we achieve more of influencer-based loyalty and why it's important? How can you differentiate when a creator has just strong metrics and actually has influence? And how can we inspire more authenticity in content? I'm sure a lot of us are trying to answer that question every day. So a few things about BURGA's influencer marketing program. So 26 people, that means 26 people in influencer marketing related roles. So not everyone does exactly the same thing, just in a different country. But we have roles like creative strategist. We have people working on the PR side, making sure that the unboxing experience is unique and in line with our campaign guidelines. What does it look like on creators' side? So we launch about 3,500 creators each quarter. So as you can imagine, it's very labor intensive, and therefore we need all those people. We do everything in-house. I'm a big fan of all things in-house, and I can talk about this forever, but I'll spare you the details today. What that means is that there's no agency that represents us or sources and contracts creators on our behalf. We do everything by ourselves. From platforms, pretty standard for an e-commerce brand. So we work on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And one more comment. So we run partnerships from gifting, affiliate, to flat fee, to sometimes layered payment model or CPM based. What are some of the changes that we've made in the last year? So as you can imagine, there are many changes that we make each month, and we adjust our program as we go. Today we have only 20 minutes, so we'll focus on 4 things. But if you're curious to learn more, feel free to reach out and we'll chat about it. Change number 1 is my favorite. So we are moving into a more balanced era of discount strategy and brand awareness or creative content strategy. So why did we do that? Reason is quite simple: coupon leaks. We got to the point where in some countries, within the first half hour of any creator going live, that coupon or discount is already available on a discount or coupon site or on Chrome extensions. So we reached a point where each creator was driving like huge amounts of revenue, and we couldn't rely on that performance data. We were lucky enough to have gathered enough of performance patterns before that. So meaning we knew what verticals work well for us, what type of messaging, where our audience is, and which way to go with non-conversion strategy. Before we reached that point, I already thought about how damaging that strategy can be long-term, and that we are risking of devaluing our brand, because if your brand is constantly discounted, is it really premium? And then if you're entering new markets with discounts right away, you're running a risk of making your consumers dependent on the discount. So it will be difficult to make them buy full price later down the road. Now, is this strategy for everyone? No. I believe that if you're in your early days in the influencer marketing journey, you have to build a foundation and to understand what works, what type of niches to invest in, what type of creator converts well, and what type of creator drives high reach and engagement. So the bigger the brand, the more important that balance becomes. And I'm sure you will find what's the right balance for you. For me, it boils down into one simple thought, that relevance is not something that you can measure in ROI, or you can't put a price tag on being a part of pop culture. Change number 2. So it goes without saying that we increased our brand awareness spend. And on the left side, you're watching now one of the brand awareness content unit. this girl, she makes candles, and based on some of her favorite BURGA designs, she made a candle collection. So what does this strategy allow us to do? So first and foremost, it allows us to reach audiences at earlier stage and work with much more diverse creators, and allows us to have more authenticity in storytelling. Another very important point is that it allows us to stand out in a very crowded and saturated market where a lot of brands say like, hey, this is our product, these are all the great features, and buy now. Instead of doing that, we focus on scroll stopping content, on something that audience wants to watch more of, and we try to incorporate our product naturally and authentically without having it getting lost in that creative content. And since it's Halloween and the spooky season is around the corner, or in America it probably started a few weeks ago, I thought I'll share an example that went live a few days ago of Halloween brand awareness campaign.
Spooky season has officially crept up on me, and what better way to get into the spirit than with an air dry clay DIY inspired by BURGA's new Halloween cases. I'm loving all the little details on these, but the little spiders on the Academy case really caught my eye. Fun fact, one time in a waiting room I sat on a rocking chair, looked down, and there was a black widow spider on the armrest. I can handle snakes, lizards, frogs, but spiders really freak me out. I don't know, something about them having 8 legs just doesn't sit right with me, but they do make for a really good phone stand. Once I let him dry for a couple days, he was ready to paint. I also added his eyes with some black acrylic paint and gave him a nice glossy finish. Now I have the perfect phone stand to match my BURGA case, and I'm officially in the Halloween spirit.
Nice. So this serves as an example of a fun way to reach a new audience or work with a creator that doesn't necessarily do a pushy CTA type of content and works on something creative made by hands. When it comes to our brand awareness campaigns, what do we track? So on the business side of things, there are a lot of things that we look at to make sure that we're making impact on other marketing channels. Like, do we lower the CPA for our paid media? And similar on the campaign level, here you can see a snapshot from our Modash dashboard where we track our paid campaigns. So we look at reach, impressions, engagement, and then one other thing, brand sentiment in comments. So meaning, is the audience responding positively to our content? Does it resonate? Do people mention the brand? Have they seen the brand in the video? Another metric that we look at is earned media value. So what it is, it's basically how much would it cost you to reach that type of audience and engagement with another marketing channel. As a rule, this should be 2 to 4 times more than your influencer marketing cost. Now, do we base our strategy on this number? No. We look at this number. It's an indicator for us month over month and quarter over quarter to tell us whether we're investing in the right type of creatives, in the right content. Is our earned media value growing comparing to the previous month or previous period? Yes. And we're moving into change number 3, which I split into 2 parts. So one part is true influence, and the second part will be authenticity. So true influence. How can we see if a creator has influence over their audience? First of all, you look at content value proposition, meaning why does the audience follow that creator in the first place? Is it for educational purposes? Is it pure entertainment, meaning that the audience probably doesn't really relate to that creator or wouldn't be influenced to buy, but it serves really well as an engagement or reach type of creator? For example, in the fashion space, for us, what is important to know is that a creator that has taste and is a trendsetter, or is that a creator that serves more as an inspo board? It's beautiful to look at, but doesn't really convert the audience. So that, to answer that question, you have to definitely dig deeper into the content and see how the audience responds to different types of content on their channel or account. Now, another question that I ask my team often is, how do other sponsored partnerships look like? So oftentimes creators have really good organic content strategy. It feels natural, has a good flow, but when they're tasked to promote a brand or a product, you can feel that they don't believe in what they're saying, or they don't use that product. So it gives you an idea of what your partnership could look like, and what are some of the things that you want to avoid if you decide to work with that creator, or to tell them to avoid. Number 3, do they have any other business? Do they monetize themselves beyond their social media presence? So if they have any commerce themselves, if they sell their own products, that's great. That shows you that they're business minded and they will understand better what you're looking for. So they know what type of messages basically sold their products to their audience. So it's a good thing to look at as well. And then last, YouTube and Instagram comment section. So I didn't put TikTok here because on TikTok, it's, as we know, it's endless scroll. We're there for entertainment, education, all kinds of stuff, but we are not there so much to engage in comments or leave comments under the content that we like, even though we like it very much. So how does a good comment section look like? So here I have an example of a creator, Haley Pham. She's US lifestyle and books creator, mostly known for her YouTube channel. She's been doing it for many years. And she has a perfect example of audience that talks to her as she was a friend. So basically, what you're looking for in the comments is, do they engage with the content itself, or is it more like, hey, you're great, lots of emojis, or things that are unrelated to what the creator is trying to communicate? Here's a post from her, 50 states in 50 days. So she did this content series, and people are saying how sad they are that it's over, that they watched it with their kids and similar. So good indication that it's the right type of creator to invest in. Now, another creator, this will go to show how creators sometimes take one step further than just having engaged community. So this is Mary Allison. She is not BURGA's creator. Her audience is a bit too young for us. She makes cakes of all kinds, inspired by social trends, movies, anything you can think of. But she's an absolute star when it comes to her YouTube channel strategy. She's very data-driven. She knows exactly at which point of her video her regular viewers drop, what type of triggers they need to keep them watching for more, when to remind them what's coming up soon. So not only she replies to comments or reacts to her audience in the comment section, but she takes her audience requests and makes them a reality. So meaning that they say, can you make please this cake? And then she makes it. Her goal is to show to her community that they're a team. They're making all of these ideas reality together. So another good example of engaged community and creator and audience relationship. Another thought when it comes to spotting true influence came from an industry peer, Danny Desatnik, and he once said that it's not what influencers do that tells if they have influence, but it's what they get asked to do by others. And what that means is a lot of creators, let's say they have their own business, they participate in a lot of events, they get invited to press trips and everything. That's all great. But what do those creators do beyond socials? What do they get asked to do beyond their social media and digital presence? So if a creator gets asked to voice a movement by Instagram, or to host or moderate a conversation, or to host a dinner with the most artistic people, it's the big brands that are putting all their trust in the influencer's voice and in their audience. That says a lot, that this person has influence even beyond their social media. Part 2, authenticity. So how can we spark more authenticity? What we learned at BURGA is that you don't force creators into formats that they're unfamiliar with, meaning that even if you have the strongest creative strategist team and they know what drives views and engagement at the moment, what type of hooks and things that we have to incorporate, they should perform really well. If you're forcing a lifestyle creator who just gives daily updates on their life to their audience, you tell them, do this hook, or choose a hook, or do this, we're expecting this extra creative content, the chances are that it will flop. Instead, you look for a creator whose creative style aligns exactly with what you're looking for. Number 2, don't overload your briefs or guidelines with unnecessary information. I know that we brands always feel like there are lots of things that we want them to have at hand if they want to talk about it, the product features, do's and don'ts, and this and that. Always remember that less is more. Focus on some of the key things that you want them to communicate through content and the audience to remember your brand by. Number 3, we learned that sometimes instead of telling creators what to say or what to mention, if we ask them how they felt about the product or what type of emotion, how did they feel when they opened the box, what did they think when they saw the design, what did their friend think when they wore that dress or similar, that it sparks content ideas in their head and it sets them in the right tone. So they will start sharing their personal story with your product or brand. You can ask them, where did they take your product? Where did your product help them, in which situation or similar? So this helps with personal storytelling. This came actually from our creative strategist, who might be also on the call, so kudos to her. And yes, so we're good here. One of my favorite quotes from Simon Sinek is that people don't buy what you do, but why you do it. And this is something that I lead by when it comes to guidelines and briefs. So in many cases, in most of the cases, there are a lot of brands that solve exactly the same problem. And if you're the only one in your industry, you're very lucky, and I'm so happy for you. But in most cases, there are many of us, right? So if you're simply saying, hey, you have this problem, we have the solution, and buy now, it's a good short-term strategy. But to have a richer narrative, you have to talk about your additional value proposition. What values does your brand stand for? Or maybe why did your company decide to solve that problem in the first place? So give it a bit more weight than just problem and solution link in your guidelines. And here we go. Change number 4. So strengthening influencer base loyalty. Why is it important? So some of you probably work in the US or with the US creators, and you know that a mid-tier creator probably receives about 500 to 1,000 inquiries each week. So you are fighting for their attention together with the high fashion brand, with the press trip, with a bagel shop down the street, vacuum cleaner brand. Everyone wants to work with that creator. So your goal is to treat them as a partner from the very first touch point, Be transparent, direct, make them feel that you mean it, that you value their content, and tell them why you think that they would be the best fit for your campaign or your brand. Now, if you worked with someone once and you know that you want to work with them long term or again, try to engage with their content outside of your campaign. So follow their life, acknowledge important events in their life, birthdays, weddings, and similar. Be there for them, not only when you need content, meaning give more than you take. If you just pay them money and you expect that, this is just business, it won't work well long term. Share campaign results if you can. I know that often it's confidential information, but if you can show them the impact that they made, I think it's a good practice. We don't always do that, but we try to when we can. Ask them for feedback. So not every creator will give you feedback, but even if you gather 20% or 30% responses of your creator base, it will make you a better marketer. You will know whether or not your communication was clear, the guidelines, where they overloaded or not enough information, where to improve on. And the creator will feel like their voice matters in your company. And last but not least, obviously, long-term partnerships. A lot of brands talk about it. So when it comes to long-term partnerships, you never go into a long-term contract without testing that creator at least once or twice. So once you move into a longer-term partnership, they know you're looking at them seriously and that you value their impact and their content. So here I have one example of how that looks like, or what this strategy later results in when you work with someone more than once, when you have this open communication, and when you, basically the result out of it is that you get a lot more organic product placements and content that is not forced and is more authentic. But let's watch it together.
It's currently 1:40 in the morning, and I want to make nails that match this phone case. I really only need 2 colors. I gotta say, I color matched it pretty perfectly. The nails are prepped and ready. Now what am I watching? My family. An eclipse. Let's morph these two together. Here's the naked nails. The base is gonna be blush blossom, and I love this pink. I feel like I need a little simple nail design. There's one coat. Here's my little palette. And now the gang's all here. I'm gonna try to go with the flow and not overthink it. Maybe I should think some more. Confession, I really like painting swirls. It just kind of feels a little therapeutic, but it does need 2 coats of red. I feel like the chili peppers on my nails right now look like carrots. My phone now has a twin. These are so pretty. It's a true combo that I didn't think of. My phone's outfit really became the inspo. The first thing I have to do when I put them on is do a mirror selfie. Like this, you know? And me in the background. And it's currently 3:07. It's time. You did good today. Here's the nails on. To me, they remind me of lava lamps. I like all the waves they're doing, the loop-de-loops. For some reason, candy comes to mind when I'm looking at them too, but they sure do look good together. They sure do.
So this just encapsulates or serves as a good example to show what creators later do without you asking them to. So in this case, we haven't paid her for this. We haven't asked her for this content, and she naturally incorporates our brand because she loves us and generates sometimes about 1 million views, additional views and impressions for us per quarter. So we will finish with the last thought. Invest in the creators who organically champion your brand, because these creators will be the ones that will make lasting impact on your brand long term. So I think it's back to you now, Simone.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that. I think I officially want a candle from you guys. That looks absolutely incredible. But we do have some questions for you. So let's get the first one up. We've had lots of activity in the chat. So thank you so much for everyone for adding their questions. If you have some more, please add them. We're going to try and get through as many as possible. So first question, let's bring that up on screen. Okay, do you offer incentives to influencers, their audiences, in lieu of coupon codes? This is a fantastic question.
Yeah, you mean to incentivize them to buy. So no, we don't have a CTA in most cases, unless it is a sale. So if we're running a sale site-wide, then we would say, yeah, there's a sale at BURGA. So we try to push that traffic to come to our website. Yeah.
When I worked as an influencer, sometimes they would give me, like, for example, I did beauty advent calendar unboxings, and they would say, oh, if you bought through like my link, you would get like a free cup or a free phone case or whatnot. But Lindsay, you had a really good follow-up question, actually. Apparently you guys have stopped using codes entirely. But is there any other incentives? So we did mention about a free gift as such, but is there anything that you can think of?
Yeah, so sometimes we give a little gift when the AOV, the average order value, is above, let's say, $90. So then we give a ring holder or something else. So we'll probably test out more of that, especially on YouTube, because it's a good platform where a lot of traffic still goes through influencers' link. But what we see on Instagram is that, let's say on an Instagram story, only probably 10% of the total amount of people who watch the content go through influencers link. Everyone else takes the code and goes through all other links, but not the influencers UTM link. So that's one of the reasons why we're not putting additional incentives in influencers.
Oh, I see. When just a quick question, this is of my own personal, but when someone, an influencer, puts a link up on Instagram versus YouTube, which one's stronger, would you say?
YouTube for tracking and conversions, YouTube. But also a thing with YouTube is it's a premium platform, premium CPM. So CPMs are always high, but it's worth paying because it gives you a cushion later for you to test like riskier things on TikTok and Instagram. So YouTube is your base, basically, where you're building slowly. And then the rest is like a lot of content that you're testing out.
Excellent. Interesting. Okay, let's go to the next question. Keep them coming, guys. That's really interesting to me. Do you find sometimes that the links on YouTube, they generate sales for a long time as well?
Yes, for sure. So compared to TikTok or Instagram,
Great.
much longer. There are videos that are generating views still after a year. So yeah, we do see sales coming in for a long time.
Okay. Next question. Let's go on to the next one. Fantastic. Okay, we got one just coming in right now. Do you focus on brand awareness campaigns with influencers or only performance?
With influencers or only performance? What does that mean?
Oh, let me just bring it up again. I think this question was from. There we go. Do you focus on brand awareness campaigns with influencers or only performance?
Oh, so with influencers more than performance channels. So our media buying team also is running brand awareness campaigns, but on a smaller scale, meaning percentage-wise of their total budget, whereas for us, it's a higher percentage of our budget at the moment.
Great, fabulous. I'm quite intrigued to ask about how many people use discount codes in their influencer programs. So just going to bring it up. So I want to know, you guys, if you rely on them a lot. So it'd be great to hear your thoughts. Okay, quite a lot of you rely on them, and a lot use heavily but not exclusively. So that's very, very interesting. Okay, let's go on to the next question. Let's bring one up. Okay, how does BURGA utilize the influencers to reach new audiences? I.e., if the target audience is female, middle-aged, what's the best way to move into new markets through creator marketing?
Great question. So we use obviously tools like Modash to spot those creators. If we're focusing on very specific demographic, that's a good starting point for us. And then we are trying to build the lookalikes list. For testing an audience, let's say we would try to tested both on the gifting side to see how does that audience resonate with our product, maybe choose specific designs for that audience and see which ones resonate best, and then move into the paid influencer marketing strategy, knowing a little bit more about how that audience works for us. So right now, probably our biggest audience would be from 20 to 40. We haven't worked a lot with the audience between 40 and 60, but we're looking to test it out.
Excellent. Brilliant. Next question. Okay. Do you not track conversions from influencers at all then?
We do with specific campaigns. So let's say in a quarter, we have 4 campaigns. One of them is to promote our sale, or let's say only on influencer side, we would run Boxing Day sale or something specific. So it would be campaign specific discount strategy, lower funnel. Or what else we sometimes do, let's say we work with someone on a creative content, candle making and something like that. So then the second content unit we could run on Instagram as a story and give them a discount code to see if the audience is converting.
Excellent.
But basically, what else it gives us, I'll just add one more thing, is going pretty wide and working with a lot of creators that wouldn't do the pushy type of content. It brings more traffic into our marketing funnel, and it is one of a growth engines for our marketing.
Excellent. I'll just pop that question up again for that one. So what percentage of your budget do you recommend for branding and performance campaigns?
Of a total marketing budget, probably, right?
I assume so.
Yeah. So good question. I think so it will depend on your brand's growth stage, because what you don't want to do is use too much of your marketing budget, because it puts a lot of pressure on your paid ads channels, because you have your ROI targets and similar. So they will have to reach that ROI, and they won't know how much money you will bring back with your creator strategy. So for some brands, it's 5%, for some 10%. And then in certain countries, maybe even in BURGA's case, for example, there are countries where it's quite high, that percentage that we can run brand awareness with. And then there are countries where we're very careful because it's a bit more sensitive.
Excellent. Okay, we've got so many questions. Thank you so much, everyone. Have you found influencer partnerships to be more effective when maintained over an extended period or as one-time collaborations? Great question.
Definitely as maintained partnerships, as I showed a couple of examples. It later gives us more content that we even pay for. So basically our CPM drops and all that. Now you have to have your success metrics in place when you're working with each creator for the first time, and then know what is that ROI that you're looking for, or reach, engagement, what type of metrics will define whether or not you are taking them to a second and third deliverable. So, but yeah, long term is our favorite. That's our base. And then they say 20% of your tests will bring a lot of value, but 80% will provide a good foundation to sustain it.
Coming from experience, all the brand deals that I worked over a period of time were the best performing ones. So I am all for the long-term relationships. Okay, next question. How do you motivate the influencer to work with you long-term if you can see they work well?
Good question. So sometimes we try to offer a revenue share, but as we know, top biggest creators, especially in North America, they're less interested to work on that model. So we do try to negotiate the rate based on how many deliverables we're taking. So let's say someone says 5,000 per YouTube video. If we're taking 4, we will try to ask to pay 15,000 basically, and maybe have one bonus. What it does also, it's a smart way to lock in the price, because you lock in the price, let's say in the spring. So then you have free YouTube videos, and you come to Q4 when everyone's prices are doubling, but you still have one in the pocket left. So it's a good strategy sometimes.
When I worked as an influencer, a lot of people used to lock in their Black Friday campaigns June time. So they used to lock in the prices. And I think that was really smart. So influencers do like that. They like kind of guaranteed planned work, I would say. So I strongly advocate with them as well. Okay, let's go on to the next question. We've got lots to get through. Okay, how do you structure long-term collabs? Do you have X amount of months of commitment from the influencers?
Good question. So with long-term partners, since we are now just in the early stages of brand awareness testing and increasing that percentage, our long-term partners are still based on conversions. So meaning who drives most value for us in sales. So we don't want to sign a 1-year contract because, as we know, after let's say 3 or 4 deliverables, if we take YouTube, the audience gets a bit tired. In our case, we're a bit lucky because we have more products. It's not just phone cases, so we can work with drinkware, we can work on yoga mat integration or others. So it's a bit less risk, but we tend to sign for like 3 or 4 deliverables at a time, no more than that.
Oh, there you go. Yes, I love locking the price. There's a few people that like that too.
Nice. Yeah.
Excellent. Let's move on to the next question. How do you negotiate gifting barter with bigger influencers that only work with paid collaborations? This is an excellent question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so with bigger influencers or celebrities, it has to be no strings attached. So it's more like, hey, we launched this product. We sometimes even build a mood board or show them how their particular style matches this collection that we launched. And we're like, we think you will love this. Let us know if you would like to receive it. So we send it, and it's not always that they would post it. So that would be the strategy with the bigger creators.
Yeah.
And then with the smaller ones, it's micro, it will be a bit easier.
Would you say inserting into conversations would be a good approach here? So, for example, at the start of this webinar, I spoke about Molly May and Heinz, how Heinz saw a funny moment and they went straight in with the personalized beans. And obviously Molly thought it was really funny and then organic posted. Do you think it's just being a bit smarter with how you gift to bigger creators?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so personalized approach always and forever when it comes to bigger names and celebrities, because if it's just another parcel, they receive a lot of them. If you can be reactive, the way you showed in an example, it's the best. But as we know, with physical products, sometimes it takes time. So the thing might have passed already, but personalized as much as you can and being relevant to the chapter of their life that they're in and similar.
I agree. Great. Let's go to the next question. How does BURGA approach reaching out to new influencers who they've never connected with? How do you approach starting the relationship with them without it being too transactional? Thank you, Sammy.
Oh, could you bring it back up?
Yes, of course. There we go.
Yeah, and then we're connected. How do you approach starting the relationship with them without being too transactional? So we do, probably every country manager has a bit of a different approach depending on the market. In some markets, we have a good brand awareness where creators just want to work with us. So we have a lot of inbound already. We mention to them that we are looking to build long-term partnerships. We're very excited. We want to collaborate on the content idea. We allow them to order more products, to test out more products that they will show in content, and just like treating them as a human, as a friend, basically on the other side of the screen.
I think I see a comment about this. Is exactly the comment I saw. Do you ever talk with creators directly via phone, video, always through text, email, or a platform? When I worked as an influencer, I absolutely loved just jumping on a video call. I just think it's really nice to kind of meet a face, but also going out for coffee if they're in the local area or if they're in a city, just go and meet influencers. I just think it's really powerful. I don't know if you feel the same.
Yeah, absolutely. We would love to do more of that in the 2026. But I'd say, as a team, it would be more no. We don't jump on a call. We try to meet up with them or with Lithuanian influencers. We see them a lot in events and similar. I know that our Spain country manager, he calls them. They have WhatsApp chats, voice messages and similar. So there are countries where it's a bit more common, and they love that very friendly communication more than just an email. They don't like emails.
I think as an influencer nowadays, you get many emails, whether it's affiliate or just gifting. I think sometimes you have to stand out from the crowd and just reach out, invite them for coffee, invite them for a coffee virtual date. If that's the thing. But I just think anything really helps, I think, these days. Okay, next question. How are you vetting new influencers?
Good question. So it will depend on a lot of factors, the platform and the campaign and all the rest. But yeah, so we look at a lot of metrics when it comes to data. Data comes first. So we also know by this point what worked for us in the past, what are good metrics or good balance, I don't know, audience authenticity, or at least like 60% of audience based in the country, in the target country that we want the content to be in, engagement rates and similar. But we do spend a bit more time now on the content itself and on the quality and looking at comments and understanding what's happening there and what type of conversations are happening between the audience and creator.
Do you test out new content ideas? So, for example, let's say you reach out to an influencer and they're completely different, a wild card. How much percentage of those people do you invest in?
So in each country, probably this quarter, let's say October is our wild month where we said, okay, we are going to test out the boldest ideas, and we're going to see whether or not it makes an impact in November for our attribution. So it's not unbalanced. Let's say 1 out of 10, 1 or 2 out of 10 would be absolutely like out of box. Yeah. So it's still like low, but it will grow.
Excellent. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Okay, what's your approach in smaller markets where the creator pool is limited and there is no versatility? Thank you,
Great
Flora.
question. Yeah. One thing, don't overspend. Don't overspend just because you can. Because sometimes in smaller markets, you have great ROI and you think like, oh, I should work more and more and more with that creator. And then you take more similar creators. But what happens is the audience overlaps and you're spending inefficiently. So sometimes lower influencer marketing spend is also a good strategy, because in Ireland, for us, we always keep a low spend there because we know that we have a spillover effect from the UK strategy sometimes, and also there's a limited pool of creators, so don't overspend.
That's a really good tip. Love that. Okay, next question. I think this is the most amount of questions we had in a webinar.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone. Loads of them.
Love
I feel that sometimes some followers are shy to ask on the comments about the product. Do you ask influencers to share screenshots of DMs or any proof of good reception?
No, we have not, but that sounds like a great idea. So I imagine that it's, for Instagram stories, that would be quite useful. We do look at the comments if it's like Instagram Reels or YouTube. We try to work with our social media team to also check through those comments. Maybe they can jump and answer questions of the audience. But yeah, if anything bad happens, influencer will always tell you. If their audience said, oh, I don't know, that product is out of stock that you showed, so influencer will probably let you know. But yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, let's go to the next question. How important are influencer events when scaling into new markets, especially for always-on creators?
Great question. That's the one that we're trying to answer ourselves right now. So we haven't done many influencer events. We did only in Lithuania, where the company is based, where it's a bit easier for us to organize it, and we know what to expect. But we haven't done influencer events yet. So I imagine it's our next step, and moving more into offline, being a bit more humane. One thought I'll say that be careful to not to focus solely on influencer event, but think about how can you incorporate your community, people who spend a lot of money on your brand, maybe your most loyal customers. Maybe you can combine those two, the community that is the most loyal to your brand, and influencer.
I love seeing those events online where they've invited their communities, their loyal customers to the events. If I do that, do it really well. And I think it's really refreshing to invite your customers to your events. Like, why not? They are your biggest fans. And I think that's incredible. And I think we're going to see more of that in 2026, which I think is going to be a great year for that. Okay, let's go into another. We've got time for another question. What metrics do you track to determine campaign success or success of individual influencer posts? Again, really great question.
What metrics to track to their success? Okay, so again, it will depend on the platform, but definitely CPM is one of the key ones. So we have predicted CPM based on the views that we are expecting. We don't take outliers into consideration. Then we look at ROI, CPA, and similar. AOV, let's say if we're pushing bundles, and similar, if we're pushing a certain product, how many of those sales were with that product in the cart. For campaigns, reach, as I showed on the Modash dashboard, so reach, engagement, brand sentiment, and obviously sales, and if that's something that you're going after.
Excellent. Let's get another question up. Any tips for people who are a team of one doing influencer affiliate program marketing for 1 to 2 brands? It has been really hard to scale on my own and seems like we're hitting a wall unless I get more help.
Yeah, so if you have enough of a budget to rely a bit on freelancers, that's a good way to do that. Like in a previous company, I did that a lot when we were not sure how well certain markets will be performing, so we can't hire yet in-house. Agency sometimes is a good strategy for volume and scale, but they're also pricey. So agency could work, but if not, then maybe freelance help.
I think also investing in software as well that can help with the discovery process, the back and forth emails to influencers that can consume a lot of time. Whereas a tool like Modash can help you see the metrics even before reaching out to an influencer. So I think that all of that can save time. There's a lot of things that you can do which are a bit more effective.
I'll add to that so a big chunk of our program is automated. Automated meaning that we run the whole workflow is on the platform. So yeah, from email tracking, as you said, to doing a lot of campaign management, it really helps.
Freelance help is a good idea. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into the next question. Thank you so much, guys. Can Modash help to find potential influencers? Well, I'm gonna let you answer this one, but I'm gonna say a big yes.
For sure. Yeah. And for a reason, like absolutely transparently, Modash didn't ask me to say that, but we had that conversation within the team, and we have tested out a lot of tools. But when it comes to our paid partnerships, the team unanimously said that Modash serves us best. So it wasn't my decision; it was their decision. That said, it's not the only place where we look for influencers. So, for example, on YouTube or TikTok, we spend a lot of time and manually search for people that we want to work with. So it won't, let's say, solve 100% of your influencer search, but will help you out a lot.
And you can try it for free as well. So if you're not familiar with Modash, definitely give it a go. We've got a really cool AI feature at the moment where you can describe what you see and it pops up the content and recommends influencers. It's fantastic. Okay, next question. How do you usually work with agencies? We feel like they're increasingly taking over influencer talent management, which really slows down the process.
Yes, so we do work a lot with talent management agencies. In the US, it's pretty easy for us. They're very business minded. They have very good workflows. They're fast. Yeah, so we would just try to set timelines and expectations clear from the get-go. So if we are aiming to launch the content, then we're like, okay, the product should arrive within a week or so, and in that period, then you film the content. So we have a good idea of when to plan the campaign. So probably from the idea of launching a campaign to the campaign going live, it's 2 months, taking into considerations that agencies are in between and it's a physical product and it's a slow channel.
Excellent. Okay, let's go to another question. Do you ask influencers to send their created content to you before going live?
Yes, always. For paid creators, always, yeah, the draft. At least one round of revisions is needed. There are creators who, let's say if you work with them long term and they say, hey, can we remove the draft stage because I will be on vacation, but I will deliver this story for you. But you have to know what they did in the past to let them do that.
Totally. Excellent. Well, thank you so much. We've had so many questions. Guys, please put in your LinkedIn handles into the chat. I would absolutely love for all of us to connect with one another, ask questions, because we've had so many questions and it's been incredible. So thank you so much. I do actually have a poll to ask you all. So after today's session, how do you feel about building long-term partnerships? I'm very intrigued. Perhaps you feel confident about doing more. Maybe you've picked up some useful ideas to try. Perhaps you're not convinced, and maybe this is not applicable to you. I'd absolutely love to hear your responses. But where can we find you on LinkedIn, Rugile? Can we see you on LinkedIn or social media? Where can people find you?
Yes, so on LinkedIn, and I'm sure that we haven't gone through all of the questions. So if you guys have any follow-up questions, feel free to reach out and I'll happily answer.
Amazing. Thank you. Let's bring up the results from the final poll. There we go. A lot more people feel confident about doing more and they've picked up some useful ideas. We've had 0% on the not convinced and not applicable to me. So I think you've done a very nice job, Rugile. Thank you so much. And thank you for popping your LinkedIn handles. I'm definitely going to for sure go and add you all after. But yeah, thank you so much for attending today's session. You receive a webinar replay in your inbox, so you can rewatch this at any time. And we're also going to send additional resources, so definitely keep an eye out for your email. Also, do let us know on LinkedIn which part of this webinar was most useful. And if you want to learn on how to use Modash for end-to-end Shopify influencer marketing, you can go ahead and visit modash.io. Thank you so much, everyone, for participating. Your questions have been amazing. Thank you so much, Rugile. I've had such a wonderful time talking to you, and I have learned a lot myself as well. And look, guys, a lot of people have loved the webinar, so thank you ever so much, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you all. Thanks, Simone. Thanks.
No, thank you.
Have a good one.